Hello everybody, my name is Stephanie Dancer and I'm a consultant microbiologist in NHS Lanarkshire in Scotland, and I'm a professor of microbiology at Edinburgh Napier University, also in Scotland. And I've just been chairing the session on innovation in infection control with my friend and colleague Herman Gustens. We had a wide variety of talks this morning, starting with modelling from Yehuda Carmeli, where he made the sight of mathematical equations make sense. It's probably the first time I've ever seen it do that. I really wanted to ask him a question about generalisation of his wonderful models, because I think they might actually only be applicable to his hospital, but no matter. So we had other talks as well, and I was delighted to see that the discussion right at the end of the session actually managed to encompass several of the issues which had been covered by the talks. In particular, how do you make a business case to your management about infection control? Because in actual fact, if we can't prevent infection, then we really are going to cause a great deal of grief both to the patient and to the hospital and surrounding community and even country. So it's really important to put the money in towards prevention of infection control, and two of our speakers did just that, one focusing more on the practical aspects and the other more on the nuts and bolts of how you actually take a proper business case to your administrators. And that takes us on to the public engagement, because everything is so much easier if you can actually make a case to the public for what you want to do, not just in the hospitals, but for antimicrobial stewardship in the communities as well. And one of our speakers, speaking about public engagement, and that was Kirsten from Ireland, she started off by telling us the sort of comments that they get from folk in the street who will say things like, "Oh, I know I am resistant to antibiotics." And of course, that's not really the right way to look at it, because in actual fact, it's not the patients who are resisting the antibiotics, it's the germs that infect them that are resistant to antibiotics. So that was a nice talk, and that encompassed several of the other issues that our speakers were talking about today. And another innovation which popped in today, which I don't think I've seen at ESCMID, and that was the role of games. Can we put together a game aimed at different factions of healthcare staff, whether it's students, whether it's nursing staff, whether it's consultants, whether it's cleaning staff, to engage them in the practical aspects of infection control. And I think that was extremely interesting to hear about, and also to see some of the examples. And I think that could open up a whole new world. I think we could be looking at apps, we could be looking at Twitter, we could be looking at Facebook, in all sorts of ways to be able to take our message out to the public. Firstly, education and awareness for folk in the hospitals and outside to understand about antimicrobial resistance and why it's so important to finish that course of antibiotics. So all in all, a very interesting session. I was delighted to have been asked at the last minute to chair this session, and I hope very much that we see more infection control and more innovation at the future ESCMIDs to come. Thank you.